You ever sit behind the wheel, look down at that odometer rolling past 1,000,000 miles, and wonder, how much longer can this beast keep going? For most engines, that question has an expiration date. But there's a rare breed out there. Engines that laugh in the face of time, heat, miles, and wear. In today's video, we're diving into the heart of what keeps America's roads alive. Not the highways, not the fuel, but the engines. The ones that powered cross-country hauls, climbed Rockies and snowstorms, and pulled full loads through blazing desert heat. We're counting down the top 5 most durable truck engines ever made in America. Machines that just don't know how to quit. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the end, because the #1 engine on this list? It's got a reputation so legendary that mechanics still whisper its name in truck stops. This engine didn't just survive, it became immortal. But this video isn't just about horsepower or brand loyalty, it's about trust. Because when you're 2,000 miles from home with 40 tons behind you, all that really matters is, will your engine get you there? So before we fire up the countdown, do me a favor. If you love real truck stories, legendary machines, and content made for road warriors like you, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. We've got more high-mileage madness coming your way. Now, strap in. Let's roll into the list with a motor that's been called the Million-Mile King. Let's start this journey with a name that still turns heads in diesel shops across America. The Caterpillar C15, better known by drivers as the Million-Mile Motor. Introduced in the late 1990s, the C15 was part of a new generation of heavy-duty engines built to do one thing exceptionally well: last. This 11-liter monster wasn't just about raw power, it was about reliability under pressure, year after year, mile after mile. You'd find this engine in some of the most trusted names on the road: Peterbilt, Kenworth, and Freightliner. And when paired with proper maintenance and a steady hand behind the wheel, it wasn't unusual for these power plants to roll past 1,000,000 miles without a rebuild. Some even pushed beyond 1.5 million, still pulling like it was day one. What made it so special? First, its low-end torque was a thing of beauty. This meant smoother acceleration under heavy load, and less strain on the internal components over time. Second, Caterpillar's build philosophy leaned on over-engineering. Thick castings, durable liners, and components built to withstand abuse that would make other engines fold. But it wasn't just the engineering. It was the loyalty this motor inspired. Talk to an old-school hauler, and chances are they've got a story of a C15 that just wouldn't quit. It became more than an engine. It was a partner on the long haul. Even after Caterpillar exited the on-highway engine market in the early 2010s, the C15 kept rolling. To this day, it's hunted in used markets, rebuilt in small-town garages, and respected in truck yards from coast to coast. So if you ever pass a 20-year-old rig still climbing grades like a champ, don't be surprised if it's a Caterpillar C15 under the hood. Because some legends don't retire, they just keep going. And speaking of legends, the next engine on our list didn't just push boundaries, it rewrote the rulebook. Let's take a ride into the era of electronic innovation with a motor that changed the game completely. While the Caterpillar C15 earned its stripes through sheer toughness, the Detroit Diesel Series 60 stepped onto the scene with something new: brains. Introduced in the late 1980s, this was one of the first heavy-duty truck engines in America to fully embrace electronic control systems, a move that, at the time, left old-school drivers skeptical. But those doubts didn't last long. The Series 60 proved that technology, when done right, could make an engine smarter, more efficient, and just as durable. We're talking about a 12.7-liter inline six-cylinder engine that brought something unheard of to the table: real-time diagnostics and electronic fuel injection. These features allowed for more precise control over combustion, meaning better fuel economy, smoother operation, and fewer breakdowns due to guesswork. Now, here's the kicker. This wasn't just a smart engine, it was a workhorse. Countless owner-operators and fleet managers can testify to Series 60 engines clearing 1.5 million miles with only routine maintenance. Some even reached the 2 million mark before needing a full overhaul. You'd find these engines in Freightliner Columbias, Volvos, and plenty of Sterling trucks across the country. They became especially popular in long-haul fleets thanks to their blend of power, efficiency, and the ease of diagnostics that saved money on shop time. What really won over mechanics and drivers alike was its simplicity beneath the tech. The Series 60 had fewer moving parts than some of its competitors, which made it easier to service, even for old-school wrench-turners who weren't tech-savvy. Even today, nearly 4 decades after its debut, the Detroit Diesel Series 60 is still in demand. Rebuilders and restoration shops often praise it as one of the most dependable engines ever created, and its parts are still widely available. From ice roads in Alaska to endless stretches of desert highway in Arizona, the Series 60 earned its place in American diesel history not just by lasting long, but by leading a technological revolution in trucking. And while Detroit was busy adding brains to brawn, another name was quietly building something different. Up next, we take a look at an engine that found the perfect balance between power, endurance, and adaptability: the one and only Cummins ISX. If the Detroit Diesel Series 60 was the brain of the operation, then the Cummins ISX was the muscle with a master plan. Introduced in the early 2000s, the ISX stepped into a changing trucking world, one that demanded more power, cleaner emissions, and modern versatility. And Cummins delivered. The ISX replaced the legendary N14, which had already built a strong reputation among American truckers. But instead of just following in its footsteps, Cummins redefined the path forward. The ISX was a 15-liter inline six-cylinder engine that combined brute force with the latest emissions technology. It featured dual overhead cams, variable geometry turbocharging, and integrated engine braking, a trifecta that made it a beast on both hills and highways. Now, let's talk numbers. With proper care, many ISX engines easily reached 1 million to 1.5 million miles. Some well-maintained units even cruised past 2 million, especially those used in long-haul applications where consistent speeds and good maintenance habits kept wear and tear to a minimum. This engine became a favorite in Peterbilt's, Kenworth's, and even international pro stars, largely because of its power-to-efficiency ratio. Drivers praised it for pulling strong through mountain passes, while fleet owners appreciated the fuel economy and ease of finding parts and service nationwide. But it wasn't all smooth roads. In its early years, the ISX had some emission-related hiccups, especially as new federal regulations rolled in. However, Cummins responded fast with upgrades and improvements, earning back trust with every update. Later models, especially post-2010, became some of the most respected engines on the market. What really made the ISX special, though, was its balance. It didn't try to be the most powerful or the most high-tech. It simply worked, hard, consistently, and across a wide range of conditions. Whether pulling a flatbed through the Rockies or hauling refrigerated goods across the plains, the ISX proved itself to be a versatile warrior. And as the ISX earned its stripes in the modern era, another contender was quietly rewriting the rules of performance and endurance in its own corner of the industry. Next, we'll look at an engine known as the long-haul king of fleet trucks, the ultra-consistent Packer MX-13. As the trucking industry evolved into the 21st century, so did the demands on engines. Greater fuel efficiency, lower emissions, and unmatched reliability. Enter the Packer MX-13, a motor designed from the ground up to meet these modern challenges while delivering the toughness America's truckers expect. Launched in the early 2000s, the MX-13 quickly became a go-to power plant for the heavy hitters in the fleet world, namely Kenworth and Peterbilt models. With a displacement of 13 liters, this inline six-cylinder engine blends power and efficiency like few others. What sets the MX-13 apart is its state-of-the-art engineering. From its advanced common rail fuel injection system to variable geometry turbochargers, every detail is optimized for performance and longevity. These technologies allow the engine to squeeze every drop of power from each gallon of diesel, all while keeping emissions well within federal standards. For long-haul operators, this means fewer stops for fuel and repairs, translating into serious savings on the road. And when it comes to durability, the MX-13 does not disappoint. Many fleets report these engines reaching well past 1 million miles with routine maintenance, some even pushing toward 1.5 million miles. The engine's design emphasizes ease of maintenance, a key factor for fleet managers who need to keep trucks rolling day and night. Components are accessible, and diagnostic systems help catch issues early before they become costly problems. Drivers appreciate the smooth power delivery and responsive throttle, especially when hauling heavy loads through mountain passes or busy interstate traffic. The MX-13's balance of performance and economy makes it an ideal choice for the demands of modern trucking. While it might not carry the same legendary status as some of the older giants, the Packer MX-13 represents the future of heavy-duty diesel engines, a reliable, efficient workhorse built for today's roads. And as we wrap up this countdown, it's time to unveil the engine crowned as the toughest, longest-lasting motor ever made for American trucks. The one that continues to defy odds and power millions of miles day after day. If there's one name that resonates with American truckers like no other, it's the Cummins N14, an engine so legendary it's earned nicknames like the Highway King and the Million Mile Motor, long before such titles were thrown around casually. Introduced in the late 1980s, the N14 was the evolution of Cummins' line of heavy-duty engines designed specifically for the rigors of long-haul trucking. With a massive 14-liter inline six-cylinder layout, this power plant delivered a remarkable balance of raw power, fuel efficiency, and unmatched durability. What set the N14 apart from its competitors was not just its sheer strength, it was the engineering philosophy behind it. Cummins focused on building an engine that could withstand decades of hard work without giving in. Every component, from its forged steel crankshaft to its robust cylinder heads, was designed with longevity in mind. The N14 quickly became the heart of iconic trucks like the Peterbilt 379, the Kenworth W900, and the Freightliner Classic. Its reputation spread fast among owner-operators who needed a dependable engine that would not only pull heavy loads, but do so day after day, year after year. One of the most impressive aspects of the N14 was its ability to reach 1 million miles without a major rebuild. Many trucks equipped with this engine routinely saw 1.5 million miles and beyond, with reports of some even hitting the 2 million mile mark. It was, without question, a testament to the engineering and craftsmanship that went into its design. Beyond raw durability, the N14 offered a strong power-to-weight ratio, which meant it could haul heavy loads without sacrificing too much fuel economy. A critical factor for truckers operating on tight margins. Its mechanical fuel injection system was straightforward and reliable, minimizing downtime and making repairs simpler for roadside mechanics. The sound of the N14 is iconic, a deep, throaty rumble that signals power and endurance. It's the kind of engine noise that commands respect at every truck stop and leaves no doubt that a serious machine is on the move. Even as emissions regulations tightened in the late 1990s and early 2000s, Cummins managed to keep the N14 relevant through upgrades and improvements, prolonging its service life in fleets and private hands alike. In fact, the N14's influence can still be felt today. It set the standard for durability and reliability that future engines strive to match. Its legacy lives on in the engines that came after it, many of which borrow heavily from its design and engineering principles. For many truckers, the N14 is more than just an engine. It's a trusted companion on the road, a symbol of hard work, resilience, and American grit. It's a motor that didn't just move freight. It moved lives, economies, and the spirit of an industry. So next time you see a classic rig roaring down the highway, think about the heart beating beneath the hood. Chances are it's a Cummins N14, still proving that some engines truly are built to last. Throughout this journey, we've explored some of the most legendary engines to ever power American trucks. Engines that didn't just get the job done, but kept going mile after mile, year after year, defying odds and rewriting what's possible. From the rugged Caterpillar C15 through the electronic revolution of the Detroit Diesel Series 60, the balanced power of the Cummins ISX, the modern efficiency of the Packer MX-13, and finally, the unmatched legacy of the Cummins N14, each motor tells a story of innovation, durability, and sheer determination. These engines represent more than metal and mechanics. They embody the spirit of the American trucking industry, hardworking, relentless, and unstoppable. If you're passionate about trucks, engines, and the stories behind them, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit that like button, share this video with your fellow truckers and gearheads, and drop a comment below telling us which engine you think deserves the title of the most durable motor of all time. Thanks for watching, and remember, the road ahead is long, but with the right engine, it's a journey built to last.